What's going on, everybody? We are here to talk about the greatest series in RLCS so far this year, and that was the KC versus BDS final. And we're going to break the entire thing down. I don't want to take too much time because it's a lot of games about chit-chatting here. We're just going to go into it, try and break down what we can. There's probably be a two-part video on the YouTube side. We're doing it live on Twitch right now as well. But let's do it. Let's go right in. Rocket League scene. Boom. Here we go. Let's play it. Let's play it and see how it all goes. All right. We'll probably wind up talking about the kickoff strats of KC here in a little bit. We'll start with the goal, so why not? Maybe we'll start here just to see what type of kickoff strat they do. KC is probably the best team at this type of stuff. Trying to confuse everyone. Rise, he goes back for boost. Elvatira comes up to just block the slow play. And it does work. It confuses everyone. They get a great offensive possession out of it. But KC is probably the best team, I would say, in the world right now at kickoffs. They have probably anywhere from like 5 to 8 like different types of kickoffs that are like unorthodox. It's probably more like 5. But we'll see. We'll try and count them as we go. We already missed one here, but that's going to happen from time to time. But KC does a lot of different looks on kickoffs that will confuse the opposition. Sometimes they don't work, though. And that is fine. I would rather them not work sometimes. Like, they got to figure that out, right? Of, like, which ones should we use in really crucial moments, you know, like tie game late. But, yeah. All right. Let's start breaking this down a little bit. A lot of this game is like a chess match. I feel like the EU game style right now is a very thinking man's way of playing Rocket League. Lots of fakes, lots of bumps, and bumps didn't happen as often, I would say, like in this match. But like the bumps only come when someone's like, all right, I have the ball, like I have possession. I'm going to clearly go for one now here. The one way to beat it probably is to be incredibly aggressive, I would say, and try and like get in their face. But sometimes that's impossible because of the boost steal and all that stuff. Like Exotic, like you'll see people flying randomly, but it's all calculated. Like they have 3 people back. Exotic is trying to guard one specific thing there. And actually go back here real quick and show it. Like it looks dumb. It looks real dumb, like from this point of view. But he's literally just trying to block one specific thing, and that is the pass out or like the pressure out towards his net. And honestly, that one probably wasn't the best, but because there's 3 people back, you're going to see people do that a lot when there's 3 people back. There's no need for 3 people on defense. I think a lot of people always talk about what is harder, offense or defense, and I will say a million times over that offense is way, way harder to score goals. And for defense, if you have 3 people back, you don't need 3 people back, generally speaking, so you can just do random stuff. But yeah. Moving on. See Drolly going for the little sidewall redirect. Didn't have enough boost, or he called it off. Either way, which he probably called it off. Let's go over to Drolly's point of view. We'll stay on Drolly here. There we go. Drolly, he didn't have the boost. He probably called this, I assume. But the opposition does not know that. And turns into a great fake. Monkey Moon is going to be there first. Because as long as you have good comms, when you fake, you should always be the first team back to the ball. Because you know exactly what's about to happen. The other team does not. That's why fakes are so incredibly important. But they only work if you have good communication. Because if you don't have good communication, you're going to wind up faking your own team out. Like, you can't do that in a random threes game most of the time. Like, there are times when players are good at reading, like, car language better than others. And so they'll be able to move up on the ball a bit more. Like, I feel like I'm no pro, but I think I can hang in the Grand Champ-ish area. Not because of my skill, but because of my game knowledge and my knowledge of car language, right? Of knowing when is a play to go for a ball, when someone misses, or is about to miss. And that's the thing that I think a lot of Grand Champs or Champs or anything like that, you can try and pick that up a little bit quicker, is try and watch other people's cars and see if they're going to miss early, make moves on the ball way, way earlier. And like it'll look like you're incredibly fast, but you're really not. You're just reacting quicker than everyone else. we go. Just a little hit to the corner. Drawley actually makes a really good play here again. Like, Drawley's been great this year. Like, I was not expecting him to be this good. Like, coming into the season, I actually was a little bit lower on BDS. I did like Exotic a lot, Monkey Moon as well, like, obviously, but I was a little concerned of, like, can Drawley hang at the very top? And I think the answer is absolutely. He's been great. Here, he just... All right, this one's not as good as I thought. Rise just kind of makes a pretty bad play here. Let's go back to Rise here real quick. Rise on 100 boost. Like, Addo goes up early. He gets completely beat, so you could also maybe blame Addo a bit there. Then Rise also goes up. I think he's just trying to guard the angle of the shot, but because he's third man back, and he knows he's third man back, that maybe he shouldn't have went for that unnecessarily. Because you kind of just have to play the back wall defense as long as possible. I'm going to go back here a little bit. I just want to see where Vatira was on the field. Yeah, Vatira's all the way upfield. Rise knows this. So Rise at this point is like, all right, Drawley's going to go up. I got to play the next play, right? But I guess he thought he could beat him. Maybe he thought Drawley didn't have enough boost. Drawley just barely had enough boost. And they get the goal. So not the greatest play, but they get it done. Oh, I keep missing the kickoffs. See, this is the problem with K-Corp, right? A lot of times, after a goal, you want to reset. You want to build everything back up. You can't even do that anymore because K-Corp's always going to do something weird on kickoff, so you have to be ready. Like, if you're a caster and you're casting K-Corp, immediately on kickoff, be ready to make a call. You got to complete the story of the last goal incredibly quickly and get ready because something weird's going to happen. Now, let's see what happens here. This one might not be weird, but I wasn't paying attention. So this is just your normal, I am going to push it back into my own corner. This is a pretty normal kickoff, even in, you know, lower level play. Oh, actually, I thought it was going in the corner, but it's not because of the angle. Let's see it again. So Rise is trying to, let's go over to him, player view. I think he's mostly trying to kill / go to Addo here, I guess. Or I guess either way, it doesn't matter. I think he kind of wants it to go back off corner, and it just depends on what happens with the other player. But the other player is also there with Addo, so he's going to try and make a move as well. Like, either way works. Vatira comes off of that boost pretty quickly and gets his play out to Rise. And they almost score. It was really, really close, but they don't get it done. Let's go back to Director. Just keep it going. But K-Corp, they're going to throw something at you every single time. Drawley, ooh, good idea. Oh, so close. Monkey Moon just... So right here, like, Monkey Moon's not in the worst spot. It's just he lands there. So he goes for the pass. And he literally lands here. He can't really do anything about it. Maybe the pass could have been slightly better. Maybe that extra shot could have been better as well. But it's a good idea by BDS. Just barely doesn't work. Play a little bit of boom ball here. Like, you want, so, like, a lot of teams will do this. They'll play boom ball. They'll try and throw it deep into a corner. And then basically, if you can get 50-50s with the other team while they're on defense, not a bad idea. Because worst case, they get a clear out of it. Best case for you, you get a goal because it turns into a pass. So you generally don't want to be, like, in that spot where you have to go for those 50-50s, like, up high when you're on defense. But sometimes you obviously have to. You're just forced back there. Nice save by Drawley there. Intercepting the pass. Good dunk as well. Will we get the finish? And we will not. It's a good idea by Exotic to just try and block out the tier. Great kill here by Drawley, like, in the corner. Just give everyone time to rotate back. It's kind of like a fast counterattack. So you want to just kill it into the corner. Give everyone a little bit of time to grab some boost to get back into position. Pretty standard play, but always worth pointing out. Because I think while I'm recapping things like this, like, I like to try and put it, like, in the perspective of, like, a champ player, right? Because if you put it into the perspective of a champ player, like, that's very easy to do for pros. It's also not that hard to do for, like, champs, and that's how you'll get better. All right, let's go back here. Director mode. There we go. All right. Vatir with the pinch, and Rise is just alone in that midfield, completely wide open. This is a great pass. So Rise goes up. Exotic. Let's see what he was doing here. I want to watch from his point of view. I think we have to do that twice, right? I can't remember how this all works. Sorry. It breaks on me sometimes. There we go. So Exotic cannot do anything. He's watching for Rise. He's like, all right, what is Rise going to do? He's going to probably try and shoot. I got to turn around. But little Addo there, right underneath. This is a brilliant fake here. And Exotic is kind of left in no man's land. Like, he honestly probably could have just went back a little bit further. Just pick up some boost pads. But I think he wanted that extra boost pad. That boost pad right there, I think, hurt him. Because he's trying to collect as much boost as he can to play defense on whatever is about to come. And so if he would have turned first on that first boost pad and went back to net, maybe he's got a better shot here. But I think he wasn't expecting this at the time. Now let's go over to Rise. This is obviously a planned fake. So you think, hey, Rise, you got all the space in the world. Go do your thing. Perfect fake. Exotic is confused, and Addo gets the goal. We'll take a look one more time. This time we'll show it from Addo's point of view. There we go. The pinch. He knows it's coming. He's just waiting to get his power shot. The shot, honestly, wasn't even that great. He could have went a little bit more top right, but it was still enough because of the fake. And that is something you'll see in Europe. We haven't seen it too much in North America, like I would say, so far this year. But we'll see if that trend changes as we get to the major, when everyone begins to boot camp against one another. But Europe has definitely taken that as their own. Like, aerial fakes are way more prominent than they ever have been, in the European space at least. So we'll see if that obviously works when it comes down to major time. I expect it will, but I want to see if NA actually winds up doing any of that at some point. Here we go. Another nice play here by Vatira. He gets the ball. Just goes for another fake. And there you go. 2 fakes back-to-back for Korp to take the lead and the win. And we're going to go to player review. And I'm going to show this one more time. Because this is what you love to see. This is what I love to see. Great comms. Great team play. Great fakes. Going to work out. So Monkey Moon's like, all right, I'm in trouble. No matter what. He's like, I could get aerial bumped here. Probably not. Like, he should know that Vatira's probably on kind of low boost at this point. But still, like, he can still be aerial bumped. Exotic is there as well, but it's too late. And Rise, he gets the goal. We'll show from Rise's point of view really quick. So Monkey Moon just goes back, I think, because he knows he has Exotic for support. But Exotic can't get there either. And that's a much better shot on the fake there. The nice near post shot, I guess you would say. I don't know, far post. It was kind of that they were going right down the middle of the field, so kind of hard to say. But the right post. And that'll wrap up game number 1. And Korp with 2 brilliant fakes at the end take it down. And let's move on to game number 2. But, so I think one thing to consider, and obviously I'll wait till kickoff's done. Here we go. Another kickoff. We got the fake. So Rise is trying to fake this to, again, either Addo or Vatira. We saw this kickoff in the first game as well. And last time I went right to Addo. But this time he's going for the complete fake. Last time he went more for, like, I'm going to try and wedge it back into the corner. This time the complete fake, but Drali kind of reads it and tries to throw it a little awkwardly to the left to avoid Vatira here, which leads to Monkey Moon having a chance. The ball just gets away a little bit too far. But it's a good kickoff by Drali to play like defense, like on the kickoff itself. And that's what you kind of have to do now against Korp. Every kickoff is going to be something weird, so you can't just be brain dead on kickoffs, especially when you're playing against Korp. So we'll see if that continues. That should continue through the major, and I'm excited to see how many kickoff goals they get. That'd be a fun tracker of how many kickoff goals Korp actually get. And that could just be off the first possession. It doesn't necessarily have to be like 5 seconds after. But, yeah. Nice little save by Addo. Oh, I was gonna bring up the NA versus EU comparisons. I know people are sick of it, yada yada yada. Like, I bring it up more so of, like, I'm focusing on NA as, like, that's my show, that is my region to watch. That's the one I have to analyze more so. And to compare them against the European region is, like, you probably should, because Europe is known as the #1 region in the world, right? So, like, what is Europe doing that North America is not doing? Will that change going into major? Will that be enough? Like, that's the way I like to kind of phrase it. I'm not necessarily saying, like, NA is trash, Europe is godlikes, or whatever. But when Europe has been that #1 region and they were so dominant last year, you kind of have to compare every region to Europe at some point. But NA is the closest to Europe, so that's where you get the bigger comparisons, right? Because that's the region very likely to pass them first, right? Here's Vatira with an absolutely nutty play. Just absolutely. Like, this is just... Like, what are you even doing? Like, look at this. Like, Drawley tries. But, like, come on. Come on. This isn't fair. Vatira. Save some skill for the rest of us. Please. Like, I don't even have to talk about it. You all saw it. He gets pushed back off the ball. He goes up with a sail. Goes with a flip reset. Yada, yada, yada. He just did like 5 different things in that play that I've never done in my Rocket League career. All right? Like, come on. Like, what is this? Ugh. Makes me sick. I missed the kickoff. Sorry, guys. Again, see, you got to complete your storyline before the next goal or before the next kickoff with Korp, man. It's hard. But we're going to try and, like, push through a little bit faster because these videos are obviously going to be long. Like, I'm not going to try, you know, like, I'm not going to pause all the time. But. Good save there by BDS. They're in trouble, though, here. They need a big clear. They get the big clear there by Addo with the miss. That's exactly what they needed. Turns into a pretty good counterattack as well. Hope everyone's doing well. Chilling in the chat. A lot of people saying, like, Europe's in a league of their own. Yeah, that's true. But, like, personally, like, I'm not a big it's like a fan of trying to compare who's, like, the next best. One thing I don't like about Formula 1, unnecessarily, like, Drive to Survive. Like, I watch it. It's a good show. It's a nice goal. Nice bump play here by Rise. We'll talk about this here in a second. It's right there, just 50. Good little fake there by Addo. Like, Drawley kind of messed up there, I would say a bit. Rise is there, just cleaned up on bumps. More so a Drawley mistake than anything. But the one thing, like, Drive to Survive is a very good show. Like, I don't watch Formula 1 very often, but me and my wife will watch that show. But the whole, like, drama behind, like, hey, I got my first point. I get it. For those people, it is very important, right? But me as, like, an overarching, like, a Formula 1 watcher, I do not care if you came in 10th and got 1 point. I just honestly don't. I just really don't. That's the same way of, like, in Rocket League. I don't necessarily care who the 3rd best region is. Like, sure, it's fun to compare at the time, but when you're talking the grand scheme of things, like, I'm looking like, who's #1? How can you match #1, right? Not necessarily, how can you be the 4th best region? You know, like, when we get there at majors, when it's in Swiss, and we have OC versus APAC or something, sure, that's where I'll talk about that story, but I do not care right now about who's the 4th best region or who's the 3rd best region. I care about who's #1 and how can you get there as other regions to fight against them, right? That's me personally. Like, I know other people have different views on that and all that stuff, but just never been my thing of, like, the race in the Constructors Championship for 5th place. Like, I don't care. Who cares? You're an average team. Doesn't matter. I don't know. That's just me. All right, wrapping up this game. Not anything too crazy this game. A lot of it, just a lot of midfield play going back and forth. And we're just going to, you know, randomly talk about other stuff from time to time. It's just the way these recaps are going to go. All right, we're going to move on. I don't even need to see the last 5 seconds. What's the point? It's a 2-goal game. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. Let's get to the next game. If you ain't first, you're last. There you go. The man himself. Saying it in chat. Well said. Well said. All right. Like, honestly, I was, like, kind of looking at the screen, but I wasn't, like, fully paying attention. So let's go back and let's watch this again. Just some good corner play here. Then Exotic goes up the wall. He's got 2 people up on the wall with him. It's a little bit of confusing defense. It's a little bit of an awkward goal because normally when you attack in a corner like that, it doesn't actually pay off. But Monkey Moon finds a way. Let me see. Was that Monkey Moon? Yeah, it was. Finds a way to squeeze it in. A little bit of an awkward goal. Probably K-Corp was not expecting them to attack so hard against a corner wall like that. But it does pay off. But definitely a misplay of, like everyone on the back wall not really knowing what to do. This is another misplay for sure here. Vatira going up with Rise. Just can't trap it well enough. And, yeah, it's just a poor trap. And that's another goal there. So good job by BDS. Trying to figure out their mistakes. And here we go. It's a kickoff. I got to pay attention. The double kickoff. Here we go. No one else does this, really, at all. One time, a funny story, on Cosmic, we did a double kickoff, and it actually worked, and we did score. But we didn't, like, plan it by position of, like, who's going a little bit faster, who's going a little slower to get the ball a certain way. We just said, like, yeah, let's just send it. So right here, we see Rise is going to be there first. That is the plan. And then Addo will come in. Like, he's trying to, like, counter the other player, or at least that's what it seems like. I'm going to try and do a fly camera here and just show when the ball hits. All right. Let's take a look. There we go. We'll go 10%. So Rise is trying to counter Jolly as best he can. Now, Jolly's done this kickoff plenty of times where he'll come from the left side and then try and push it out left. We talked about this earlier, the defensive kickoff that he is trying to do to mess up all of K-Corp's kickoffs. This is obviously planned, and this is something he's now done multiple times. Rise really is just trying to cancel out Jolly as best he can. So he also will come around the ball just a bit here. So basically, like, it leaves it so Addo's, like, his force is going to push the ball that way. That's the whole idea behind this. And Vatira's here just in case, and he'll move up as well as this play will continue. But that is the idea behind this kickoff. It's a push kickoff for Addo to push it into the corner, and that's away from wherever their diagonal was. So let's go back to director. So he pushes it. I'll go back to 100%. That's exactly what they want. Then Addo will get that corner boost so he can then make another play. Like, obviously, right off kickoff, when you send 2, you do not have a lot of boost. So you have to make sure you plan ahead of time. Rise, he missed out on that mid boost, I believe, to Jolly. So he's got to go all the way back. But Vatira is also going to be up here on that boost on the other side. He knows that this boost is free because Jolly was on the kickoff over here. So his car is going to just push that way. Sure, he might get this boost. It's not the end of the world because this play is more about Addo on 100 boost, having a chance to do a pass and play out to Vatira. That's the general idea. Then Rise is there for cleanup as well. Go back to director. See it here. Doesn't really work out, but Vatira's at least midfield to block it. And again, the kickoff is not always going to work, right? But that's the idea behind that kickoff. And that's just one of their many kickoffs that they have that you have to be worried about. But that's what BDS was trying to do, was trying to counter kickoffs a lot by taking your diagonal man and actually cutting across the ball and then hitting it back to the same side that you came from. And we'll see if, like, K-Corp try and counter that at all, because that obviously takes a little bit more time. So we'll see as this continues throughout the series if that changes anything. All right, probably after this game, we will cut the YouTube video and we'll cut it in half, and then we'll continue from there. So, see how it goes. Right now, not too much going on. A lot of back and forth. Adrali gets the clear at least. Like Korp was holding that midfield line pretty well, but now it's on the opposite side. Now BDS is going to try and hold that midfield defensive line. Adrali has no boost, so he's got to go all the way back. So Exotic will move up there. Adrali is back. And again, now it's BDS's turn to guard that midfield line. That's basically what you always want to watch. When a team's on offense, you'll see that a lot. Is a team will try and just guard that midfield line, basically, and push it back in. Like, still, BDS, for the past, 40 seconds? It was on the other side of the field. They didn't really get much out of it, but now Korp has it. Now it's going to be a midfield break here. Avatira just chilling midfield, going for the bumps and the goal. And there you go. This is a very close play to what we saw earlier, where Vatira had it by himself. Monkey Moon was on defense, and Vatira drove through it and allowed Rise to score. And this time he does it again, but this time he actually gets a bump. Last time, I think Rise just beat out Exotic, and it didn't really matter much. So let's look at Vatira's point of view. But again, great play here. So he's just guarding midfield line. That's a clear Monkey Moon should not do. Like, you can't be clearing it down low, like dead center of the field. Just not something you want. So Vatira throws it up, and he immediately was like, nah, I don't care about this ball at all. I see 3 defenders. I'm ready to play some pinball. All right? I'm ready to bump at least one, maybe bumping him to another, but try and get as much confusion as possible here. This is not his ball. He bumps Monkey Moon. It confuses everyone. He also bumps Exotic just barely. And Rise is there for the cleanup. We'll show Rise's point of view. Go back a little bit further. Once that ball goes up, he knows he is next up. Just got to go up and score it. And that's all Vatira. 3 people on defense. 3. And Vatira just like, I'm just going to dive right through all of you and just try and confuse you guys as much as possible. Let's go back to the kickoff because, again, it's Korp. This one looks pretty standard, all things considered. So, yeah, Addo was in the back corner. They were probably trying to push it to Addo, but Monkey Moon followed it up, so he broke that one down pretty cleanly. That's a much better clear. As long as you can get it up really, really high, at least it's going to force the other team to use a ton of boost and won't be able to do their play that they necessarily want. That's the difference from a grounded clear through midfield to like an elevated clear. Now, Addo is up there, and he doesn't have a ton of boost. Like, he'll be able to make plays because he's talented, but it's just going to take a little bit longer. So Drawley is there now up in the air to make the play. Monkey Moon, nice little air carry. Exotic's just chilling over here on the side. This director just loves Exotic. There we go. Again, we'll see a lot of midfield defense by BDS. Some demos finally coming out from Korp. We saw a couple bump attempts here or there on goals, but now like the demos are flying. So Korp is really trying to break them apart. That should have been a goal. Oh, this one's rough. Who was it? Rise just missed the ball? Yeah, Rise just missed. Not the greatest of plays. Addo, look at Addo. Oh my, look at this man. He's a bulldozer. That was the one thing I loved about him last year. We talked about it in our top 10 players of the year. Of like, he is so physical and does it so well. He's one of the few in Europe that is like so mechanically gifted, but also can just be a bulldozer when he needs to. So right there, one demo comes out. He immediately flies back to the wall and gets another bump, and that should have absolutely been a goal. This is not really Vatira's fault. He's not really expecting Rise to miss here. So now he's going to try and make it up. Sure, he probably could have done a better aerial, maybe. But he didn't have a lot of boost at the time. But again, that's something you just expect that Rise hits. So it's more on him than anything. So unfortunate there for Korp. But, you know, mistakes happen, right? as we saw on the EU pre-show when they showed NA. Poor Cheese, man. Can we just say poor Cheese? He got the brunt of that NA low light video. And I just felt bad for Cheese. Like, I don't mind the banter. And, like, if you want to do the low lights NA, sure. Like, that's fine. But at least balance it so it's not like 5 plays from Cheese. It's like, oh, man, poor Cheese. It was really rough there for him, but it's all right. It's all right. He'll bounce back. He's got a good shot at going to the major. He'll get the last lap. He's going to show up and just, with a white glove, and just go right to Stumpy. Right to his face. I don't promote violence, but if it's on Stumpy, nice pass here. Beautiful play. That is what we like to see. You can see it coming from a mile away. Drawley, no boost, gets bumped out. That is why that clear is so poor. But, oh, you got to love give and goes. There is nothing better than give and goes. Here we go. All right. I'm not on the right person. Addo, here we go. Let's go back. The 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, bam, in. Oh, you gotta love it. So much space here. Rise is ready. He's already in a great spot. They know they have plenty of room here. Now, the problem is for BDS, they have to play defense, right? Rise could easily just put that top left corner, and that's that. Then they got to worry about Vatira going for bumps as well. So Vatira bumps Monkey Moon. I think maybe even a tiny bit into Exotic. So it was just everyone getting involved. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. What a great goal. All right, here we go. Director, another kickoff. Let's see what happens here. So this is, again, Drawley does the exact same kickoff. He's been doing this the entire time. He purposely pushes it a little bit to the right. This time, not as far, actually. So let's go over to... let's just do fly view. And we're on Addo for some reason. Go on the ball. So we'll just come back a little bit. So generally, he wants to push it more back to his own side. And he kind of does that, just slightly. And honestly, this one's probably a little bit more lucky than anything, that it splits between the two. Because Vatira... It really did look like he was trying to read that type of touch, but just missed. Like he almost got there. He went too far left, so I'm not sure exactly, but I think that's what they were trying to do, was just trying to get a hard kickoff and push it forward as quickly as they possibly could. But Drawley, again, been doing a very good job throughout the series on the defensive kickoffs. So well done to him. Keeping BDS in the series. But kickoffs. Gonna probably start seeing, like, we've seen planned kickoffs. There's obviously planned kickoffs. There always has been. But they haven't been this extreme. Probably ever. So that'll be the next meta coming up, I guess. Right here, Rise, just poor touch. This is really all this is. Like Exotic, it's a fantastic pass. I'm not going to lie about that, but Rise just gives them that ball. And I'm not trying to be down on BDS or anything, but, like, a lot of times it's like a K-Corp mistake, which also happens to BDS as well. But Exotic, let's show his view. Sorry, I'm really bad at doing this. Let's go back. All right. Exotic, just a nice little neat pass. Drawley also gets a pump on Addo as well to open up that shot for Monkey Moon. And we'll hang on Exotic here on this kickoff. Let's see what he does. Exact same kickoff. They're all trying to do this kickoff where they push it back the same way they came. We've seen it with Drawley a ton. Now Exotic does the exact same kickoff that Drawley did. I assume that this is a pre-planned thing going into this match of, like, every diagonal kickoff, we're going to try this. Or at least most of them, right? Because it really does counter a lot of K-Corp's kickoffs. You see here again, Vatira wanted to push that ball. Rise faked it, but it goes a little bit too much to the left. So BDS gets away with it yet again. So well done by them. Great plan in there on the kickoffs. And we'll just wrap it up here. Just follow the ball. Jolly's just got to kill it. He does so, and that is the game. That is game number 3. That is a wrap for this first part of the video. So I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go to games 4 through 7 in the next YouTube video, and for Twitch, obviously, we will go there too. We'll take a quick break here in terms of chatting with the crew, with Twitch chat. So make sure to catch these live if you are on YouTube. I would say there's a schedule, but there's really not. But I'm usually live like 8:30 Eastern to like 10:30 Eastern when I decide to do it on one of the weekdays. But that'll do it for this first video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.